Just calling to see why are you so angry about the Trump people saying that they simply won when the Democrats are going online crying, saying that they're going to leave the country off themselves.
Okay, so hold on. I haven't said that. Right.
So no, I'm just
right.
I didn't say you said it. But right. I'm just saying it's happening.
Okay.
It's happening. And isn't that bringing more divisiveness than
Okay, so
anything?
You think so let me ask you, so wait, you think that it's bringing divisiveness when Democrats say they might leave the country, and you're not concerned about?
Well, they're saying more than that. You know they're saying more than that.
I don't know. I don't. Okay, you
can follow me. You're not my family anymore. Like that guy that was just on. He was
okay. Well, let me be very clear.
Talk to his brother.
Okay.
Over his choice, an opinion.
So what's
his own.
Okay? So to me, it's not an opinion. When you say Donald Trump won the 2020 election, you're just an idiot. That's number one. And I'm not dividing the country. If you say the earth is flat,
the other 10 million votes.
Hold on. When you say the earth is flat, you're an idiot. When you say Donald Trump won the 2020 election and defend January 6th, you're an idiot. When you defend Donald,
the other 10 million votes, Brian.
I'm sorry. You really want to have a debate with me? So
I'm asking you where the other 2 million votes. It's not a debate. It's a question.
Okay, a question. Where are the other? I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean? Where are the other 10 million votes? Can you be more specific, please? Are you referring to 2000?
How many votes did Biden have?
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning. You're talking about the 2020 election, correct, sir?
Yep.
Okay.
What you just brought up. I'm on your same topic.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Fair enough. You're asking me a generic question, which is, where did the 10 million votes come from? I'll tell you, you're talking about the people.
No, where they disappeared to, not where they came from.
What votes that disappeared? What votes that disappeared in 2020? I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Donald Trump had how many votes, total votes in 2020?
Donald Trump had around the same number of votes, very close to 2020, as he had in 2024. What are you talking about? What are you talking? What votes disappeared? What are you? All right, let's make this conversation a lot easier.
84 million.
Let me make this conversation a lot easier for you, okay? Can you please provide me any evidence of widespread voter fraud that could have changed
I'm not saying that. Hey, who said anything about voter fraud?
I'm asking you a question.
You're bringing this up.
I'm asking you a question because you see, when people say that the election was stolen, they're insinuating that there was voter fraud. So now I'm asking.
That it was stolen.
Okay, I'm asking. If there's no voter fraud, then why would you question the 2020 or no widespread voter fraud? Then why would you even ask that question and think that maybe Trump won in 2020? Can you answer that question for me? I've answered yours.
Because as a person from the outside looking in, it's odd that there's 10 million more votes in 2020. So what changed?
So in your opinion, even though, okay, so let's go with that. In your opinion, sir, because you think something might be odd, you think that
don't assume that I'm a Republican.
I'm not assuming. I'm not a person. Did I assume you're a Republican? Did I say that? Did I say that?
I think you're assuming.
Okay, that's the problem with you.
That's
the problem with you. You think something when you have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't say you're a Republican. I have no idea, and quite frankly, in this conversation, I don't care. So please let me finish. Okay. You think that something might have been odd in 2020. Okay. And you ask me, where did 10 million votes go? My response to you is there any evidence of widespread voter fraud that could have changed the outcome? Now, obviously the answer is no, which you failed to answer.
Yeah, I never said there was.
Since there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud, and Donald Trump had 61 opportunities in courtroom to prove it, which he couldn't. It was a free and fair election, just like in 2024. I haven't said that there's been widespread voter fraud. I accepted the result of a free and fair election. Sir, it's not even worth the conversation. You have the right to ask me a question, but there's no evidence. Now, at the beginning of this call, you said, boy, why are people not talking to each other? Somehow you thought it was dividing the country for Democrats saying they want to leave the country because they're upset or they're angry. But yet, why don't you? But yet,
friends and family.
But yet,
that's very divisive.
Okay, let me be very clear.
You say you voted for Trump, then we're going to fight.
Let me be very clear.
You don't care about women's rights because you voted for Trump.
Okay,
none of that is true.
Okay, none of that is true. Let's talk about that because you're wrong. Okay, let's talk about that since you're 100% wrong. Because of Donald Trump assigning Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe versus Wade, right now in this country, there are at least 20 states where abortion is illegal. In some of those states, no exception, So please explain to me how that's not true, sir, with what I just said. Go ahead.
I don't live in one of those states.
Okay, so because you don't live in one, so your opinion is because you don't live in one of those states, it's not affecting women across the country. Do you realize how ridiculous that sounds? Let me be very clear with you, sir. Because of I'm going to spell it out for you. Because of Donald Trump, in almost half the states in this country, a woman is not allowed to have an abortion. And let me be very clear on this as well. Geography should have no bearing over a woman's body. So you just said it's not true. That was your quote. You just said Donald Trump has nothing to do with a woman's right. You just said that on this show. And I just explained to you, because it's factual, not an opinion, in almost half the states in this country, a woman doesn't have the right to choose. So please explain to me again your statement where you just said it's not affecting a woman's rights. Can you please explain that to me, sir? And don't give me the excuse, well, it's not in one of my states.
Who said it wasn't affecting a woman's right?
You just said that a minute ago. You just said people aren't talking to their family members that are women because the women are claiming that, well, because you voted for Donald Trump, it's affecting my rights. You're wrong. It is affecting their rights. And I just laid it out. Why don't you admit you're wrong?
Not everybody that voted for Donald Trump, Brian.
Not everybody. So now it's turned to not everybody that has voted for Donald Trump. Let me be very clear. If you voted for Donald Trump is affecting women's rights and health and bodily autonomy over their own body. So yes, in a way, everybody that voted for Donald Trump is affecting in the future more a woman's right to choose. It's why when they voted for him in 2016, and it's why they voted for him now. Why are you so complicit and lack self-awareness?
So are you saying that everybody that votes for Donald Trump believes that abortion is a big no-no? You can't.
Nope. That's a different question. Are you gonna be quiet and are you gonna let me answer? I keep having to pod you down because you asked me a question and they don't let me answer it. Here's what I am saying, sir. Again, I'm gonna try to be specific and I'm gonna speak slowly for you, okay, sir? There are a lot of different reasons why people voted for Donald Trump. A lot of different reasons, from abortion to the rights of maternity leave, taxing the top 1%, bigotry, hatred, you name it. There's a lot of different reasons, okay? There are people that I know that voted for Donald Trump, even though they believe in a woman's right to choose, but it's not that important to them. It's not a top issue for them. So even though they might not be self-aware, with all due respect, sir, you don't seem like you're self-aware, because when I just said in 20 states abortion is illegal, and you said, well, it's not in my state, which is really just a ridiculous response. While they might not in their mind have cared about abortion, they might not in their mind thought that that was an important issue. The reality of the situation is it was the number 2, or at worst, number 3 issue on most people's minds. So just because you go to the voter booth and you're not thinking that, at a minimum, makes you complicit. At a minimum, makes you unaware. At a minimum, makes you not think about all the women in this country that are afraid because they might not have the ability to get an abortion. Why is that so hard for somebody like you to understand, sir? If you could explain that to me, please.
When I tell you, you just sat here and said, yeah, they voted for Trump and they also believe this because they prioritize. It's called prioritizing.
All right. Well, there are some people. There are some people in country to you. It's not at the top of your list because you don't know what it's like to be pregnant. But let me be very clear on this one, sir.
I got a daughter.
Okay. Well, you know what? I wonder when you wake up in the morning. And you have the right to a different opinion, but I'm wondering when you wake up in the morning and you look at your daughter in the eye and you look at your wife in the eye and you say, you know what, honey, I decided to vote for a liable sexual abuser. I decided to vote for a man who has, excuse me, I'm asking you a question. And I know you don't want me to, I know somebody like you doesn't want me to ask this question to you because it makes you look like the fool that you are, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Okay, sir? You voted for a man. When your daughter says, Daddy, why did you vote for a man who wants to take away a woman's right to choose? I'm wondering what your answer would be to your daughter. Go.
Is my daughter, my 12-year-old daughter's going to ask me why.
You think this is funny? You think this is pat him down again. You think this is funny? You think it's funny when I talk about a man who is a liable sexual abuser, you think it's funny to take away a woman's right to choose? You think it's funny? It's not funny. So I'm going to ask you the question. I'm going to ask you the question again because you didn't answer it the first time. When you wake up in the morning, and if your daughter asked you, Daddy, why did you vote for a sexual abuser? Daddy, why did you vote for a man that wants to take away my right to choose? I want to know, what is your response to your daughter? Go.
So you don't have to fight for a spot against a boy, a man.
All right, you're not going to answer my. So now you're going to transgender. By the way, transgenders have absolutely nothing to do with the question that I just asked for you. You fool you. I'm going to ask again because you're a coward and you won't answer my question. The question had nothing to do with transgenders. The question had nothing to do with the color of one's skin, which were your first two answers, because you don't want to answer the question, you coward. So many of you people who vote for MAGA, you're a coward. I'm going to ask it one more time, you coward, you. When you wake up in the morning and your daughter says, Daddy, why did you vote for a sexual abuser? Daddy, why did you vote for a guy who wants to take away my right to choose what to do with my body? I want to know what your answer is to your daughter. And by the way, my question has nothing to do with transgenders. My question has nothing to do with the color of skin. I'm giving you one last chance to answer the question, and don't be a coward. Answer the question.
So just because your question doesn't have to do with any of those things, my answer.
All right, you're not going to answer. You're not going to answer the question because you're a coward and you're an imbecile. You are MAGA. You are MAGA, and you couldn't defend what I just said in the question because you know you can't defend it. I'm going to be honest. I feel really bad for your daughter, and I really feel really bad for your wife because you sound like a true MAGA imbecile. Have a nice day, sir. Have a nice day. I give them 3 chances to answer a question, and he doesn't answer it. What do you make about Donald Trump taking away a woman's right to choose? What do you say to your daughter when she asked, why did you vote for a liable sexual abuser? He talks about transgenders, a typical stupid answer from a stupid MAGA supporter who will not answer my questions, who is a bigot. Yes, that guy who called in is a bigot. And I guarantee you transgenders aren't affecting his life at all. They're not affecting his wife's life. They're not affecting his daughter's life. But notice how he won't answer the question. It's a playbook from these MAGA right-wing bigots. What do you say about Donald Trump's sexual abuse? What do you say about him taking away a woman's right to choose? Oh, let's talk about those transgenders. What a frickin' coward.